Hello everyone, thanks for watching. Today I want to share a project I've been building in Minecraft, something connected to my hometown in Humboldt County, California. If you're interested in joining the server and exploring this yourself, check the link in the description. While Humboldt County is better known for logging, fishing, and let's be honest, some more questionable trades, one of its longest running industries was dairy. That's what we're diving into today. In the little town of Loleta, there once stood a large creamery that produced milk products for over a century. Most locals knew its red brick facade, even as it sat abandoned in recent years. I visited it a few times myself. There's a video of that on my channel. But an earthquake a few years back sealed its fate, and now the building is mostly demolished. I've always been fond of it, so I set out to rebuild it here in Minecraft as accurately as I could. Now before we step inside, a quick caveat. This build comes from a mix of my own photos, videos, and a lot of research. Many of the records are incomplete, so some areas are reconstructed with educated guesses based on similar facilities. The spaces I personally explored are built as close to reality as possible, so as we go through, you'll not only see my interpretation of the building, you'll also learn a little bit about how a creamery like this worked. Let's take a moment to circle around the outside first. You'll notice the patchwork of roof lines, typical of a facility that started small and grew over decades. On the right-hand side was the original factory, built in the late 1800s by Diamond Springs Creamery. It was just a modest wood frame operation making condensed milk and butter, the latter of which was for local distribution only. Later, the brick tower was added in back for powdered milk production. Eventually, the whole complex came under the ownership of Familiar Foods, which expanded it to the footprint we see now. They produce condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, and especially powdered milk, sold under the Milkman brand. According to archived news sources, during World War II, the ice cream powder made here was shipped to soldiers overseas. The creamery changed hands over the years, but by 2008 it closed for good. Earthquakes, vandalism, and water damage finished the job, and what's left of it is now being demolished. Alright, let's head in through the front. Off to the right were the offices. Straight ahead down this hall was a central hall with a walk-in fridge, restrooms, and locker rooms for workers. Now, here's the initial receiving room. Farmers brought their milk here early on by pails to the docks outside, later by tanker trucks. The milk went into big storage vats, then into the main processing room, which was actually part of the original 1800s building. I didn't see this room personally, so I've reconstructed it from research. Here the milk was clarified and separated. Centrifuges spun out contaminants and excess cream. Standardization made sure that ratio of cream was perfect. Then it was pasteurized. From this stage, it could be turned into butter, condensed milk, or powdered milk. Next, we step into the evaporator room. This was all about condensed milk. Machines here boiled away excess water under vacuum pressure, and workers added sweeteners if needed. The condensed milk was stored briefly, then sent out for canning. Like in many of these buildings, there's an exit up onto the roof for maintenance and emergencies. Now for the big one, the powder plant. This massive space turns skim milk into powdered milk using spray dryers. The process went like this. Skim milk moved from holding tanks into evaporators, where it was boiled under reduced pressure. Then it was sprayed into the top of a dryer as a fine mist. The droplets dried instantly, falling as powder, which was collected through hoses at the bottom. From here, the powder could either be packed directly into huge drums or processed further into ice cream powder. Up front were the workrooms and the lab where they tested quality. And just over here, this was the main electrical equipment room powering the whole operation. Let's move into the packing and shipping areas. Upstairs was the powder packing facility with equipment to fill and move big drums. Smaller packages for retail were produced here as well, a favorite of backpackers and home bakers alike. The drums were sent downstairs by lift. Downstairs, this area handled condensed milk canning. There's a small office and several vehicle bays at the front. Behind them stretches a massive 2-level storage wing that connected to the railroad. Up until rail service stopped in the 90s, trains carried away finished products and brought in empty drums through this loading dock. Before we close up today, let's take a quick look back outside. Along the storage wing were several bays, some for vehicle repair, some for cleaning milk pails, and one for receiving packing supplies. Across the yard stood a main machine shop, a water cooling tower, and the spring house. The tall brick powder plant in back was connected by a causeway. After the new, larger powder plant was built, the old one was used for storage. Out here you'd also see fuel tanks, water tanks, transformers, and even a buried settling tank. And that brings us full circle. This project could easily go on forever, and I could tell you 1,000 details about it. There are so many in a facility like this, and I'll probably keep refining it as I learn more. If you want to explore this yourself, or check out some of my other builds, follow the server info in the description. And if nothing else, take a look around at the buildings in your own town. You never know which ones will be standing tomorrow. Thanks for watching.